If you are thinking about relocating to the Columbus, Ohio area, I'm going to tell you 7 things that the people living in Columbus, Ohio love about living here. But first, before we get started, just check out this background. This is fall here in the Midwest, and a lot of my clients that I help relocate all over the country, they just don't understand what this is like until they get here. So once again, check it out. It's absolutely beautiful. Now let's dive into these 7 things that you're gonna love about living here. Now let's dive in with the first thing of why people that live here love it is it has big city amenities, but small town friendliness. Now, somebody who grew up in the area, I can tell you this is absolutely true. I don't think you're gonna find nicer people than you will here in Central Ohio. Like I said before, I grew up just right down the road in Bell Fountain, Ohio. It's about an hour northwest of here. And the people in my entire life that I grew up around, that I made friends with and their families, they're absolutely amazing. So when we dive into this, think about Columbus. If you Google Columbus, Ohio, you're gonna see flyover state, cow town, all these things to describe Columbus, and it's just not true anymore. We are becoming a mega city. We have a monster airport that is being redone, and it's gonna be even larger, which is really great. We have massive companies that are moving here. We have the Ohio State Buckeyes, 100,000 people every Saturday in the fall, in the home games, I should say. You have the Columbus Crew, the Columbus Blue Jackets. You have hundreds of restaurants. We're known for our breweries, wonderful parks, museums, art galleries, you name it. This city has it. So we have all these amenities that you could imagine having. But the one thing that we haven't lost sight on, and I hope that we never lose sight on, is it's a very friendly place to be. Now there's always gonna be naysayers in there that say that's not true, but let me tell you, from somebody that has grown up here my entire life, I did move away for a short stint, but I came right back because I missed it so much. People here are absolutely incredible. I can't tell you how many times I have called my clients who are relocated here from, let's say, California. And after living in their house for a few months, I'm calling to do a checkup, see how things are going. And the one thing that is common between all of these clients is they cannot believe how nice people are. Heck, my sister-in-law, when they moved from New York City, one of the first things she said to me is, "Brad, why are people waving to me when I'm walking my daughters in the morning? Why are they saying hello?" Because in New York, that's not what it is. It's a head down society. They're going one place to another as fast as they possibly can. They got that East Coast kind of meanness to them. But here, everybody's so friendly and they absolutely love it. I always ask her, what do you miss about New York? And yeah, they miss some of the amenities with some things that they had, but they cannot even describe the feeling that they have of just how nice everybody is and they're welcoming. And it makes having a community a lot easier than some other places here in the country that I've been told firsthand. It's just like, hey, we haven't been able to have these types of friendships or meet these types of people where we were before, but coming here changed our whole perspective on what it's like to live here. So if you're somebody who's worried about that you're not gonna get all the things that you have in a major city, you're gonna get a lot of those things. And the cool thing about Columbus is we are still growing. There is so much growth that is happening here that all these amenities are going to get better. There are gonna be more of them. They're gonna expand out even more into all the suburbs. So it's a really special place, and not to mention, you're gonna meet people like me that are super friendly. The next thing why people love living here is the versatility that the housing kind of gives you. So think about this. If you're somebody who is used to living in a big city and you have a loft or a penthouse or some sort of cool apartment and you want that lifestyle, but you want to be able to maybe be closer to the suburbs, we have that. Because you know what? Downtown Columbus to all the major suburbs, about 20 minutes. So pretty simple. You can get that loft downtown. You can get the penthouse at some of the wonderful places that we have in the city. If you want to live, not necessarily in the city, but you want to stay in the urban areas, we've got that too. You've got areas like Grandview and Upper Arlington and Clintonville and Bexley that give you kind of that urban feel, but yeah, you're kind of in these neighborhoods and it's not as city driven as it would be if you're living, downtown or in German Village or the Short North. So you have that option as well. And that is really appealing to a lot of people who are relocating here that are used to living in the city. They don't want to give up the amenities or the ease that it is to get to places. But they don't want to live in an apartment anymore. They don't want to live in a condo. So we have these things. Now, if you're somebody that wants to live in the suburbs because that's where you're coming from, or you're starting a family, or you just want more space, hey, we've got that too. You have so many different suburbs and neighborhoods within those suburbs to choose from. So we have a wide variety. Now, here's the cool thing. If you want to live in the country, so you don't have any neighbors, that's kind of how I grew up, right? My parents were up a long driveway in the woods, no neighbors, kind of secluded. Didn't really love it when growing up, but now I'm like, that's paradise to me. Can kind of escape and get off the grid. We have all that. You can live in the woods. You can buy a farm. You can, live on a backcountry road. And you can still have access to all these amenities that the suburbs or downtown has within under 40 minutes, which is absolutely insane. And that is something that I think people kind of don't understand until they get here. So if you're worried about, I'm coming from Idaho and I'm used to being on a backcountry road and now I got to be in this city, it's just not true. We can find that house for you on a backcountry road. Or if you're somebody who's coming from New York City and you got 2 kids and you're tired of living in the apartment setting that you're currently at, hey, we'll put you out in the suburbs. No big deal. We can get you a yard, a swing set, 3-car garage, no problem. So as far as our housing is concerned, we have all sorts of options, and I think that is a big thing that people love about living here because we can kind of help with every stage of life. The next reason that we all love living here is just straight up affordability and cost of living. I have a story. I have a client relocating from Southern California, and I was picking them up to show them some houses while they were here visiting, and we went to go get some coffee, and we parked in a meter. And they said, aren't you going to pay? And I'm like, no, on Sundays it's free. And free in Southern California, it's like $25 an hour and there's no such thing as free. And my mind was just blown. I was like, what the heck are you guys doing living out there? Or as simple as just getting taxed for the highways if you want to be in a certain lane. Now I know we have on the toll roads, we have that stuff, but we don't have toll roads in Central Ohio. That is in Ohio. So it's just a really different kind of lifestyle. Yes, our property taxes are higher, so you are going to pay for that. But as far as like the nickel and diming that goes on in some of these other states, we just don't have it. And if we do have it, I don't know anything about it, which probably means we don't actually have it. So that kind of that affordability piece, I feel like a lot of people that are relocating here, they just can't believe what they can get as far as a house. So how far their dollar goes to. Now I know you locals that are watching this, you're gonna think something differently, and I totally get it, that's your perspective. But these people that are relocating, they just can't believe that they can get, a $500,000 house or $1 million house and it comes with all these things. It's just kind of eye-opening to them, which I think is really unique. And just kind of the overall lifestyle, right? Things are a little bit more slower paced, restaurants aren't as expensive, groceries, there's some areas of this country where some of this stuff is absolutely out of control. So being able to move your family here, or if you're newly married or you're single and you're coming here and you're starting a new job and you're unsure how far your dollar is going to take you, let me tell you, it's going to take you a lot further than a lot of different places. And there are some links that I have put in other videos as well. I'll put some stuff in the description below that talks about the cost of living here compared to some other areas. And I think that would be very helpful for everybody to understand. But for somebody that has lived here essentially my entire life, I can tell you that I have seen, kind of all walks of life, I guess, be able to have a really comfortable living. Whether that is somebody that has a farm or some land, or they're living in the city, things are a little bit easier on the majority of people here. We have our issues like every other state and city does with some affordability challenges, but I really believe that from what I've been around and what other people tell me is they feel very fortunate that they have landed here when it comes to the affordability and cost of living factor. Let's talk about jobs as our next topic, because that is something that the locals here, they're excited about for the most part. There's some that are like, what's going on? But Columbus, Ohio is on the map. And if you don't believe me, type in ChatGPT, look up top US markets over the last few years. Where's the jobs going? Where are stable jobs at? We're gonna definitely come up in that search. So if you think about Columbus, we're really known for our healthcare sector. I mean, we have some of the best hospital systems in the country with Ohio State and Ohio Health, and they don't really seem to be slowing down. I mean, if you're driving on 315 to or from downtown Columbus on either side of the highway, you are going to see cranes, and they are building buildings, doing additions, putting in parking garages for both health systems. So when we think about the robust job market, healthcare is huge here, manufacturing, fashion. Now the tech stuff is just kind of out of control right now, which, listen, I think is really great for the area. I think it's great for what's happening to our communities without challenges. There are challenges, but think about this. You have Intel, and I know I've talked about Intel on here, and I take some heat for it. That's never going to happen, and maybe it's pushed back 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, whatever it is. I go out there a lot. The cranes are still moving, and it's too big to fail, right? So something's going to happen with Intel, and that's going to create a lot of different scenarios for the region. Amazon, Google, you have Andrew that's coming here later next year. All of these things are creating not only like jobs for those companies, but think about all of the ancillary companies that support them and the jobs that those are being created, or the companies that are being created at, or those companies are setting up maybe, different locations here because they didn't have any presence here. So I think that Columbus, Ohio is in an absolute great position for the job market. And, while the job market might be a little soft across, the country right now, if I was somebody that was maybe looking for a job because I'm right out of college, or I'm looking for a different career path, or I want a promotion in some of these sectors that I talked about, I would look at Columbus, Ohio. I think there's going to be a ton of opportunity that's going to happen over the next 5 years. Not to mention, in my previous section of this video, we talked about affordability and cost of living. And these are great paying jobs as well. So that is one thing that when I go around and I'm talking to all my reload clients that are here for jobs, or my friends and family that live here, or clients that live here, we talk about that a lot, about what are these companies doing and how is that affecting the area and what opportunities that they're getting. And I just think there's a lot of opportunity here, and the locals are supportive of these businesses. Now, there are always going to be people that are going to chirp and have their opinions, but on the grander scale of things, Central Ohio is very excited to have these companies set up shop here and be able to provide jobs for our people. And I think that's something really exciting that we could all get, kind of behind and support. Not to mention, we love small businesses. If you go down the short north, it is just block after block of shops. Go into Westerville and uptown Westerville, locally owned businesses all over the place. You've got Bridge Park and Old Dublin that's doing this, and Hilliard, New Albany. These areas, they're supporting small local businesses. So if maybe the big corporation world isn't for you, and you're somebody that wants to work for a boutique or a coffee shop, or a local furniture company, or whatever it may be, like, this is still a great place for that. And I know a lot of people get excited about small businesses here, so definitely check that out. And this is just another reason why we all love living here. I just briefly touched base on this in the prior comment about why people love living here, but number 5 on our list is just small businesses. And I am a small business owner myself, so I can speak directly to this. I own the real estate brokerage of Engel and Volkers here in Central Ohio. Being a small business owner, I definitely have felt the love and the support for the community that I'm in. Our office currently is in Italian Village, which is a little small neighborhood of downtown Columbus. And when we were setting up shop there, our neighbors who were small business owners came over, welcomed us. How can we help? The developer and landlord of our building was always willing and able to help us. I guess the local council or the village directors, if you would call them, were supportive. So it was really cool to actually see that firsthand, because growing up in the area and then obviously just spending the most of my adult life here in the city, I never really experienced that firsthand. I just saw it firsthand, right? So I would see it when new restaurants would come and boutiques, like people would just support it until it was no longer here for whatever reason. You know, in New Albany, where I live now, like we support small businesses like you wouldn't believe. It's a big driver and focus of the community. So I think that is something that is really cool about being here, is the fact that while we have all these mega corporations that are moving here and providing hundreds and thousands of jobs, we haven't forgot about what made Columbus unique and special to begin with, and that is our love of small business. And I think as long as we continue to support that and make that a focus, you know, of our community, then that's going to be really great, and it's going to create a lot of opportunities for people as well. Like I mentioned previously, like if you are moving here and maybe you're not sure what you want to do with your life, or you know, you worked in Seattle and you worked for a clothing store and you're moving here because your spouse got a great job and you want to work at a boutique here, there's so many of them. The possibilities are endless, or you can even start your own. Think about that. Like if we're a small business community and we support that, then why not maybe open your own as well? So I really think that is a big reason why people love living here as well. It's just we have a great community. We want to support each other. We want to make sure businesses thrive, whether that's a coffee shop or Cardinal Health, right? We want to make sure that those businesses thrive and survive, and I think it's a really good thing for our community. Next on our list is outdoor recreation and green space. So first of all, look behind me. Again, let's look at this once again, how beautiful this is. When I think about Central Ohio and I think about like outdoor recreation, you wouldn't believe, first of all, how many miles I put on my car driving, but when I am driving to meet a client to sell their house or to show houses, there are so many sports parks in this region of Ohio that it's insane. You know, if I'm driving to, let's say, Dublin on a Saturday afternoon, mid-fall, it's gonna be packed at some of these parks of soccer, flag football, lacrosse, you name it. Like, it is just mind-boggling of how many people are playing sports, which I think is great, right? And what's really great, I believe, is these communities all support it. They're always building parks, whether that is walking paths or trails or large parks to support recreational sports. And if you think about one of the big projects that's going on in New Albany right now, is that over where Bevelheimer Park is, there is a large community center that's being built that is going to be great for the residents of New Albany. But that park has so many pickleball courts, you have a basketball court, and then you have just acres of green space where they play soccer a lot, or flag football, or lacrosse, or whatever they're doing. There is just so much space for outdoor recreation, which I think is really good for our community, not only for the kids of the community to kind of be involved in things and competitive sports, but also it brings us all together as well to support our kids' teams, support each other, and the community that we live in. So that's really cool. So if you are unsure of what it's going to be like when you move here, because maybe you're coming from, let's say, Denver or somewhere in Arizona, and you're used to having a lot of space to do things with your kids or even yourself, it's going to look a little different here. It might not have mountains in the background. It might not be a desert, but we have plenty of outdoor recreation spaces for people to do all sorts of things. And then when I just talk about green space, I want to shift this a little bit. So we talked about these kind of recreational areas. We've got so many metro parks. It's wild how many there actually are in the, I guess we'll call it, Central Ohio area. One place that I think is a hidden gem that most people don't talk about until they get here, and I probably tell them when they get here, is if you just go, let's say, an hour to 2 hours, depending on where you are in Central Ohio, southeast, you're going to go to Hocking Hills. And this place is full of caves and waterfalls and hiking trails. and you have some of the coolest Airbnb places to stay at than you will ever see, I think, in the Midwest. I mean, there is some remarkable places. You have a guy that I know owns this place called the Oasis. It has tree houses that you can stay in, which is super cool. Another buddy of mine has an Airbnb called the Distillery, which you should check out as well. It's got a golf simulator in it. It's a really cool setup that reminds everybody of a distillery, which is great. So Hocking Hills is a place, talking about green space and outdoor recreation and things to do. If you like to hike, if you like to bike, if you want to go camping, anything that you want to do like outdoorsy like that, it's such a great place to go, and it's only a couple hours away. So, you know, my wife and I take day trips, right? You just pack the kids up in the morning, go down and come back. Or if you want to stay a long weekend, you can do that as well. So that's definitely a place that's, I don't know, I think it's a hidden gem. To the locals, it's definitely not, but a lot of people that relocate here, they have no clue that that's within an easy car drive for them to go see, and I think that's pretty cool. Next on my list is late night food runs. Hear me out. This is something most people don't know, and I don't even think I really realized it or knew about it until somebody brought it to my attention, but apparently this is a thing, is that people love living here, believe it or not, because they can go get some late night food runs. So I remember one night, my wife and I, we were sitting at home and she was like, had a craving for something. I think it was pasta related, if I remember correctly. And so we were naming off all the places we could go and get food. And she was like, you know what? I'm gonna go make it. So we just went to the grocery store, came back, and we made it. So I didn't really know how to talk about this because that's just my perspective. So I asked a couple people that, hey, are you going out and getting late night food? And a client of mine who we just helped build a house with, and he goes, Brad, my kids want late night food all the time. And they live up in the Powell area. And he's like, you wouldn't believe how many late night runs I've had to go get fast food, pizza, UDF, ice cream. And he's like, my kids were never like that until I moved here and their friends were doing it. And then they caught wind of it and now they do it. So I don't know. It's a weird thing. This is only a thing maybe like locals live for and love. I guess I fall into that category, which is kind of funny. If you already do that, well, you're going to fit right in and no problem. And if you don't already do that, then something might change. You might start to do that. You might start packing on a few pounds because, the Midwest, weight thing is kind of real, right? When you move here, you get a little comfortable and start maybe adding 2-3 pounds, but I digress. Anyway, late night food, it's a thing. Who knows how it'll play out for you, but definitely be aware of it. There you have it. Those are 7 reasons why people who live here love living here. My name is Brad Winter. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want more videos like this, make sure that you hit the subscribe button. If you haven't already done that, check out these videos up here for more information on the area. And then if you need any help relocating here, or if you already live here and you're ready to make a move, all my contact information is on the screen below. Would love to help you out, and I can't wait to bring you next week's video and have a good surprise for you on that one. So make sure you tune in.